Welcome back to Midweek Encouragement. Thanks for joining me here today. It is so good to sit with you. Hope maybe you're enjoying a cup of coffee, or maybe it's later in the day and you're just relaxing. But I just want to share with you. Hey, last night was kind of rough for me. I had one of those dreams that a terrible dream. I dreamt that I was working in a muffler shop. I woke up exhausted. I know that's a terrible pun, and I should be punished. Put me in a penitentiary or something. Well, have you ever worked to a point where you just felt exhausted? Maybe you've chased children all day, worked a long, hard shift at work, or maybe you put a lot of effort into a project and all of the effort that you put into it lasted only, 20, 30 minutes? I've often felt spent after I get done on Sunday morning preaching a message. Sometimes serving others can take a lot out of us. There are times that difficult situations can take the wind out of our sails. We've all had situations or setbacks that make us feel like giving up. And all of us have grown tired at some point or another. I look at the life of Jesus and I see how he would take the time and rest, even taking a rest in the back of the boat. It was the Apostle Paul that we learn from, and he says in the Bible that he felt tired and he felt spent. So we learn from Jesus and Paul and even others that it can be exhausting when we are persecuted for the high calling that Christ has put on our life. It becomes exhausting when we help hurting people and lame people and blind people and other people. Paul writes some encouraging words in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. He says, "Let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessings if we don't give up." I heard Paul saying that even good people get tired of doing good things. So Paul encourages us to push on in doing good. And we should continue to help others, continue to share the good news of Jesus Christ with others. We should live our lives with the fear of God, walking in obedience to his written and spoken word. God knows that we're going to get tired. He knows that we're going to get weary. He knows that there are times we're going to want to give up and quit. He knows there are those that are going to say, "Man, not again. I'm not going to help them again. I'm so tired of helping them again." He knows that there are those who are going to frustrate us, and we're going to be questioning, why are we doing this good for them? Is it helping? Or am I enabling someone to continue to go down a bad path? Well, the verse says for us to push on in doing good. If I go fishing and I don't catch anything that day, does it mean that I give up? No, I might come back another day and another day and another day. And you may not see apples on the tree that you planted, but what about the next generation? You may not see the harvest in your lifetime, but there's going to be a harvest. It may not happen here on earth, but it can happen in heaven. And we have to be patient waiting for the harvest. It's going to come. We just don't know when. Just like the believers in Galatia, we also have to stay faithful in our godly lives to help those that are around us. It may mean we get our hands dirty. And if we do not give up, the Bible says there will be a reward for us. Those we help may not respond in the way that we expect, but that's part of demonstrating the love of God. When you plant seeds, you don't have control of how many that they will produce. You don't have a control of when they're going to come up out of the ground. You don't have a choice in when they're going to be ripe. But remember, the actions of others do not affect the reward of us doing good. It's like the apple tree. May not see the harvest, but it's not about us. We may not see the reward on earth, but regardless of when it happens, we need to keep on doing good. I heard the story about a man. He was walking down the beach one morning and he saw these starfish that had washed up on shore. So he started picking them up and throwing them back into the ocean one at a time before the sun came up and dried them all out and they were to die. Someone else walked along and asked him what he was doing. He says, "I'm throwing these back in the ocean so that they can live." The person said, "You're not going to make a difference." So he picks up another starfish, throws it into the water and says, "I made a difference in that one." Maybe sometimes our difference that we make isn't going to be as massive as others would expect or would hope, but we're making a difference. Our work matters. There is not a price tag that can be placed on how we live or how we love others. What good could you do today for somebody else? It might be as simple as a smile and maybe a cup of coffee. Who can you help without expecting anything in return from them? Who can you share the hope of Jesus with, whether it requires words or actions? How can you keep living a life that brings glory back to Jesus? If you're getting tired or you're already there, make a decision to not give up or give in. Push forward through whatever you find yourself in the midst of. And keep in mind, there is going to be a harvest, and that harvest will be a surprise if you don't give up. So where do we start? We start as close to home as possible. Galatians 6:10 says, therefore, wherever we have opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially those in the family of faith. To see the opportunities, we have to keep our eyes open for what God has placed before us. And when we see the opportunities God has placed in front of us to respond to, they're called for us to respond to, not call somebody else, not push it off on someone else. Those are opportunities for you to become the flesh of Jesus to someone who really needs to meet him. So my friends, don't give up. Do this for his glory. And God is our strength. He is our refuge. He is an ever-present help in times of need. And we are not helping under our own power, but under his and with his. God is the one who gives us the strength and the endurance to serve and to love others. And he has loved us. So ask him to open your eyes to see the opportunities he desires for you to fulfill. May God's blessing be upon you, and may you be encouraged through this day. Bye-bye.